5 weeks. I've been here, I'm gagged. I'd like to answer all of your questions. They're very easy questions to answer, but I'm gagged, so I can't talk as much as I would like to about this ridiculous case that's hurting our country so badly. Some of the reviews from yesterday are and by the way, everyone's against this case. I haven't seen one legal scholar or expert in the law say that this case should have been filed. It should not have been filed.
Okay, the jury has resumed deliberations in Donald Trump's New York hush money trial. For a closer look at this, we're joined live by Stephen Farnsworth, professor of political science and international affairs and director, Center for Leadership and Media Studies. So let's just start off with where things are. So the jury deliberated for about 4 hours yesterday, and then they had a question of the judge, right?
That's right. And so this morning, the conversation was basically repeating some of the testimony from the trial and a little bit more information about some of the judge's instructions about what the law means. And so they're back in the jury room right now, and we'll have to just wait and see how long it's going to take them to reach a consensus, assuming they can reach a consensus.
Okay. And also I want to bring this up. You know, there have been some polls out there, NPR, National Public Radio in the U.S., they have a new poll that shows that the trial's outcome is not going to impact most people's votes. What are your thoughts?
Well, that's absolutely true. It's consistent with previous polls as well. Basically, you're looking at a situation where about 95% of the vote, give or take, in the United States is already locked in for one candidate or the other. People are going to vote for Biden. They're going to vote against Biden. They're going to vote for Trump or against Trump. Those sorts of things are already resolved. The key question going forward is the sliver of voters who are not committed to one candidate or the other. We're talking maybe 5% of the electorate. There may be a little bit of movement there, but for the vast majority of voters in the country, they've already decided, win or lose in this case, they're going to vote for Trump or against Trump, no matter how this comes out.
Okay, what are the real implications of this trial?
Well, the swing voters are an important part of this process. Remember, a lot of these electoral college votes in some of those close states, those were 20,000 votes or less in terms of statewide totals. And so if, in fact, you're looking at a really close contest, and all the polls suggest it is going to be pretty close, even a sliver of voters may end up being decisive. Certainly, the Biden campaign is hoping for conviction here, and certainly the Trump campaign is not. What the jurors will have to do, though, is figure out whether the evidence is compelling enough to decide to convict him.
And, you know, if there is a conviction, you know, is this merely symbolic, or do you think there's going to be actual grit to this?
Well, if there is a conviction, we are talking about the possibility of jail time. I think in all likelihood there won't be jail time for the president. This is a first-time offense. This is a nonviolent charge. These cases are likely the norm for these cases are cases involving probation. But no doubt about it, it would be a huge hit for 12 ordinary Americans, these jurors, to say that Donald Trump committed a crime. No president in American history has even been on trial like this before, much less convicted.
Okay, what about the happenings outside the courtroom, outside the courthouse, the onlookers, the supporters, the protesters? How does that factor into all of this?
Well, it's important to remember that the jurors are looking at the evidence. They're not looking at the court of public relations. Donald Trump is very, very good at public relations, and clearly that's what he's focusing on. As you saw in the clip that started this segment, there is a very, very aggressive effort of Trump to try to make sure that this doesn't undermine his presidential campaign any more than it has to. So this trial is creating an opportunity for people on both sides to be heard, and that's how democracy works. Fortunately, the reality of this case is going to be based on the evidence, and it's going to be based by what the jury decides to do, not what protesters on either side have to say outside the building.
Okay, Stephen Farnsworth, professor of political science and international affairs and director, Center for Leadership and Media Studies. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.